time. Hi, I'm Stefan. I'm one of the founders of Create. We are a small technology startup with 10 folks based in San Francisco and a presence in Washington, D.C. as well. Do we have any real estate developers in the audience today? Show of hands. No? One? All right, well then I'll be able to express my unique pain point to you, and hopefully you guys can give me some ideas as to how we can turn this wacky industry around. So there was an interesting point that was brought up yesterday in the pre-construction workshop, in the high-performance construction workshop that Steve mentioned, that there's a lot of kind of sense in the industry, especially on the design and construction side, that there's a lot of people on the ownership and development end that wish that there was a big button that you could push, that once their work is done, that a building would just pop up out of the ground. Well, obviously that doesn't happen, but the reason from obviously the owner's side is that, well, now that I've done all my work and I've underwritten this and decided this is feasible and there's a benefit to the community and the government signed off on it, how do I get that building online as quickly as possible? And to kind of share an anecdote here, there was a project I was involved with in DC where we were building a $150 million large-scale 5-star hotel project. And we worked on this thing for months and months on end, just to really get the idea as to whether or not is this a building we want to build. And we did a lot of things right. I mean, this was a really complicated project. We were talking government land with environmental remediation and unexploded ordnance. I mean, you name it, we had to deal with it. And all those things that we did right were fantastic, but there's a few shortcomings. And one of them in particular jumped out to me, and it was a point in time where in the communication of the blueprints and the design documents between the architecture firm and the developer, which I worked for, there was a miscounting in the number of rooms in the hotel. And you think to yourself, how is that possible? And on paper, when we're talking about the scope of an investment, the difference between a 298-room hotel and a 302-room hotel is millions and millions of dollars. And you know, we are 9 months into this process now, and all of a sudden the deal looks like it's in jeopardy. And you know, why do things like this happen? And I'm sure I'm not the first person that's suffered some potentially catastrophic miscommunications like this. And I mean, if you take a look at this, I mean, this is really kind of a breakdown as we think about how does information get passed between different people in the industry. And there was a question earlier today about a clearinghouse, and how great would it be if we had a centralized repository for all of this information, everything from